The mitzvah of simcha that applies after a wedding. So after a wedding, a Chasan has the obligation to rejoice his Kallah, or to rejoice with his Kallah, for a certain amount of days. The mitzvah of simcha doesn't just mean that he spends time with her, jokes around, has fun, but has halachic definition, which in summary includes joining her for festive meals, as is commonly done after the wedding with sheva brachas, not to do malacha, meaning not to go to one's regular job or run his business during this simcha period, in order so he be free to spend time with her and rejoice with her, and other matters included in the above. So for how long does this simcha period extend for? Of not working, not doing malacha, etc. So in this matter, there is a difference between a basula and a ba'ula. A common misconception is that the mitzvah, obligation of simcha, not doing malacha, etc., is correspondent to the amount of days that the Chasan and Kallah recite sheva brachas. This is inaccurate. They are two different subjects in halacha with different qualifications, as we will soon learn. Everyone is in agreement that if a man marries a basula, a woman who has never yet been married and has never been intimate, then everyone agrees that the Chasan is obligated to rejoice with her for 7 days. And thus, just as they say sheva brachas for 7 days, so too the mitzvah of simcha applies for those 7 days. It makes no difference whether the Chasan is a widow, a divorcee, whether he's been married many times, never married at all. In all cases that he marries a psula, he has to rejoice with her for 7 days and follow all the above restrictions. So was the Mechaber in Even Ezer 62 halacha 2, 64:1, based on the Gemara in Ksubis 7b. Now, what if the Kallah is not a basula, such as a divorcee, a widow, or a woman who is intimate out of wedlock for whatever reason? In this case, the Gemara rules, and so is brought in the Mechaber in the above sources in Even Ezer, that the Chasan is only obligated to rejoice with her for 3 days after the wedding. And this applies whether the Chasan was never married before, was married, is a widow, divorcee. In other words, the Mechaber rules that we don't take a look here at how long they're saying sheva brachas for. As is known, when a widow marries a widow or a divorcee, they only say sheva brachas for the first meal. And if he's never been married before, they say sheva brachas for 7 days. Nonetheless, brings the Mechaber in this opinion, the simcha extends for only 3 days. It doesn't follow the rule of sheva brachas. The Chalkas Mechayik and Beis Shmuel in the name of the Ran explain the differences as follows. The mitzvah of saying sheva brachas was established based on the simcha the Chasan and Kallah feel in their heart. In other words, it takes the Chasan into account. However, the mitzvah of simcha is solely for the sake of the Kallah. And in this, the Chachamim established that a basula receives 7 while a bula receives 3. Even though the Chasan and Kallah may have enough simcha to justify sheva brachas for 7 days. As is the case if he was never married before and he marries a ba'ula. Nonetheless, all this is only one opinion. The Mechaber then records a second opinion, which is the opinion of the Ran and the Rashba, that whenever sheva brachas said for 7 days, so too the mitzvah of simcha applies for 7 days. As they say, it does not make sense to differentiate and say you have enough simcha to say sheva brachas, but not enough simcha to fulfill the mitzvah of simcha. So they rule as follows, that when a man who was never yet married marries a ba'ula, he has to keep 7 days of simcha and 7 days of sheva brachas. However, if he was previously married, then sheva brachas is only said on that first meal, but mitzvah of simcha applies for 3 days. Practically, the final halacha is to be machmer like this opinion, and thus in summary, the following is the halacha. Whenever a Chasan marries a basula, he's obligated to rejoice with her for 7 days after the wedding, even if he was previously married. If the Kallah is a ba'ula for whatever reason, and if the Chasan was previously married, sheva brachas is said only for that meal, while the mitzvah of simcha applies for 3 days after the wedding. If the Kallah is a ba'ula and the Chasan was never previously married, he's to be stringent to follow the mitzvah of simcha for 7 days after the wedding. Regarding a case of machzir grushase where one remarries his divorcee, in this we find a machlekes in the achreinim whether the obligation is 3 days or no days at all. And practically it is proper to be stringent in this, not to do malacha, and to rejoice with her for 3 days.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.